Oh yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mitch of Mitchspiration, man. I'm here today to share my personal testimony about how God qualified me for grad school when I was unqualified to be in grad school in the first place. So just want to let y'all know this is going to be the first part of a series I'm starting called Just My Thoughts, where I share my personal testimonies, my perceptions about life, and my perspective about life with y'all. So I just want to dive right into it, man, because I know this is going to help somebody. So I went to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro for undergrad. While I was in college, I struggled. You know, when I was in high school, I was that kid that could retain a lot of information and pass. So I never took notes. I never really studied like that. And I was an honor student. And so it didn't help me in college as well as it did in high school. When I got into college, I found myself struggling to know how to study because I never had to study before. So it was a different experience, but be that as it may, I persisted. And the thing was, even though I tried hard, I really had to literally teach myself how to study and ask people's help because I didn't know what I was doing. Actually, I didn't have any motivation at one point in college, but my biggest motivation was trying to be a part of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated by way of the Pi Zeta chapter. Shouts out to my bros. So just with the aspirations of wanting to be an alpha is honestly what kept me motivated to perform well in school. So I was able to reach out to some tutors and some classmates who could give me some good skills. I was able to make that happen. I did, join Alpha. I crossed Spring 11, which is actually the same semester I graduated from college. So needless to say, it was a journey. But I'll be real, man. I graduated college with like a 2.59 GPA. As compared to graduating high school with a 3.8 GPA, I was hella disappointed, super disappointed. Very concerned about what my future was going to look like because I knew with that GPA, grad school probably wasn't going to be an option for me. So I'm already telling myself, disqualifying myself, that I'm not going to be able to move up the ladder unless I work my way up the ladder. And so that's what I did, man. I started different jobs. My degree was in nonprofit management. So I started my degree working for nonprofits. I worked in juvenile justice for about 3 years. I worked at this wilderness camp where we had students who had gotten minor charges from being arrested. They had to come to our program for 3 to 6 months in order to graduate from the program and get those charges dropped. Then I had a great experience working for the city of Durham in the Office on Youth Division there, where I was a program director for the Durham Teen Center as well as a lead advisor for the city's youth council, the Durham Youth Commission. So I definitely learned a lot from the city government side of things and kind of fell in love with city government, even though I kind of hated it too. Because, government is about who knows everybody. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Everybody ain't got integrity and character. All the stuff I was raised on, right? So I stayed there for about 3 years. So we got 3 years in juvenile justice, 3 years in city government, and then I took a job back in my hometown working for a great organization called Communities in Schools. So still doing youth work, but this time it was in the educational capacity. I worked at the elementary school level. My responsibilities were to case manage students who might be struggling in academics, behavior, parental engagement, things like that. And it was my job to kind of help them have a more successful school experience while at the same time kind of bringing in resources as need be, whatever. So my resume is leveling up, I'm doing my thing. But what didn't change? My GPA from undergrad, right? So one of my good fraternity brothers, his name is Roderick Marshall, man. He actually did the Masters of Public Administration program at North Carolina Central University, Eagle Pride. And so I talked to my boy Rod, and he was like, yo, Mitch, you should really consider doing this public administration program. Now, this was last summer, mind you, so I'm going into a new semester at my current job, not really thinking about grad school, just happy to be employed with all this COVID stuff going on. And my man was like, yo, you really need to apply. You got the work ethic, you got all that. And I'm telling him bruh, I don't have the GPA. The GPA requirement, if I'm not mistaken, for the MPA program was a 2.75. I had a 2.59. So A 2.75 is a generous offering for a grad school program. So the fact that I had a 2.59, bruh, I felt super low. Like, it made me feel even more guilty for not really performing how I knew I could in undergrad. But needless to say, my boy convinced me, man. The brotherhood of Alpha, man, they always encourage me and keep me lifted up. So he was like, you know what, bro, just apply. I'm going to make some phone calls for you. I'll write you a letter of recommendation, and we're going to see what happens. So I did what he asked. It was literally 4 days before the window to apply closed. And so I applied, got all my letters of recommendation, wrote my purpose statement. And even in my purpose statement, I wrote that, like, hey, my undergrad GPA is not up to par, but it doesn't reflect my work ethic and my drive that I've had since I graduated. Like, I wanted to make it incredibly clear to these people on this committee that you got to give me a shot because I know I can do it. Amongst that and praying and asking God to help me out a lot too. But about 3 days on the last day that applications were due, one of the head professors in the program hit me up, called my phone. Hey, is this Anthony Mitchell? I'm like, yes, sir. He was like, hey, you know, we were looking over your application. We see you don't have the GPA for the program, but what you do have is a strong resume and strong recommendations. So we're going to give you a shot. So when he said that, I was like, yo, stop playing with me. Did he just say what I think he said? Are you really going to give me a shot? So he said, yeah, we're going to let you in conditionally. So the mandate is that you have to make at least A's or B's in all your classes this semester, or we'll be forced to minimize the number of classes you can take next semester in order to fully admit you, or we'll just remove you from the program altogether. Because, you know, in grad school, you got to have an A-B average. If you get a C, you putting yourself in jeopardy of getting removed from the program. So I was like, yo, yes, sir, I'm going to take the opportunity. Called my boy Roger back, and I was just hyped, man. He was like, bro, I told you, you're gonna make it, you're gonna do great, man. And so as the semester went on, I literally prayed when my semester started. And this is what I prayed. I said, God, you brought me here for a reason. I haven't been in school since 2011, almost a decade. I was 22 when I graduated. Now I'm 32 years old. Give me the wisdom to understand the material, the knowledge to be able to digest the material, and the contextualization to be able to write it down and articulate it when I'm giving work. Not only that, allow me to be a resource to my peers and an asset to my class. And when I tell y'all, God did all that for me, God did all that for me, y'all. Like, this semester, I got a 4.0. Well, this past semester, I got a 4.0. I am fully admitted into my program at North Carolina Central University, and I'm super excited about what's about to take place in my life, man. So if I could lead y'all with some nuggets, I'm going to say this. Number one, don't disqualify yourself from things God has qualified you for. God doesn't always call the qualified to do his will. Sometimes it takes him picking the people who shouldn't have it or don't have the resume or the GPA in order to fulfill a purpose in their lives. So that taught me not to disqualify myself from the things that God has for me. Number two, you have everything you need on the inside of you. Everything you need is on the inside of you. I let my age become a factor. After I saw God move, I started thinking, I'm 32. I ain't been in school in 10 years. Like, what am I going to do? So I automatically saw God work in my favor, but then the enemy was able to give me another thought of doubt. So you have to allow God to be in your heart, and you can't let the enemy cloud your mind. You might second guess yourself. You might be wondering, well, I'm in the program now. What if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? But what if you are meant to be in that program for a reason? What if you are meant to be great in life? What if the things that you thought you weren't qualified for is exactly what God wanted to do to prove himself in your life? And so for me, that was a great, valuable lesson. And everything that I prayed for, y'all, to the T, everything I prayed for came into fruition. I was one of the most sought out students in my class by my professors. My classmates used to hit me up all the time for insight about things. And I'm like, yo, y'all fresh out of undergrad. I need to be hitting y'all up. But I was blessed, and I was thankful to be that resource because that was my expectancy because that's what I prayed for, right? So with that being said, guys, it doesn't matter, guys. As long as you're following your path, doing what you can with what you have, God can bless all of that, man. I am not supposed, by the numbers, I am not supposed to be in grad school right now. I am not supposed to be getting my master's degree at all. But because of God being who he is, it's a blessing that he's blessed me and he's using my life as an example. So I just want to encourage you guys, whatever it is that you're counting yourself out of, pray, talk to God, seek wisdom. And all you have is all you need, man. I'm telling you, everything that's inside of you is all you need. And when you trust God, he's going to bring everything else out of you. I got a 4.0 this semester, y'all. As opposed to people who've been in undergrad, fresh out of undergrad, the previous semester, and I performed better than they did. So even though I didn't have the GPA, God gave me work experience to understand the disciplines of time management, understanding how to read material, understanding how to analyze. I've been complimented for having such an analyzing mindset and being able to simplify what we have to analyze. And so I think that's all because of God. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I did not put in the work like I should have in undergrad. But because of God being in my life, he made it all possible, okay? So I want to encourage y'all, man. Trust God. All you have is all you need. And God is the only person who can qualify and promote you to where he wants you to be. So talk to God, find out what your purpose is, find out what his plan is for your life, and let him do the work. So that's my testimony today, guys. Those are just my thoughts. I hope this was a blessing to you. I hope this inspires you to do something better, think bigger, and not let the enemy sneak in your mind and allow you to second guess yourself. All you have is all you need. All right? Love y'all. Peace. What's up, everybody? If the video you just saw encouraged your spirit of me sharing my testimony about grad school, there's more of that to come. So make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and make sure you hit that bell notification so you know every time I drop something new for y'all. The quote of my brand is live true, leave legendary, and also shift the culture and change the world. If you live by those two things, you can live a prosperous life. Till next time, y'all. Peace.